This past Sunday, rapper and community organizer Nipsey Hussle was shot and killed outside of his LA storefront just moments before he was about to meet with the police commissioner to discuss violence in his community. Now, when I first heard this story, I really didn't think much of it, but after seeing a lot of conscious people I know, especially a lot of the conscious rappers I know, talk about this, I knew that there was more to this story, which of course we're going to get into in this video. Now, the latest information we have is that a suspect has been identified, and now that the police are looking for a 29-year-old Eric Holder, who they think committed this assassination. Yesterday at a vigil, 19 people were injured as a stabbing happened during the memorial, and this situation really is becoming very prominent because this Grammy nominee who was just assassinated was also making a documentary on curing AIDS and cancer, and he was just murdered, assassinated in broad daylight. Now, this rapper, Nipsey Hussle, was working specifically on a documentary about a fellow named Dr. Sebi. Now, if you don't know who Dr. Sebi is, he was a man who claimed to cure a lot of diseases with holistic medicine and diet. He made many claims, and there's a lot of mystery surrounding him, mainly because he was also what people think online, killed and assassinated when he died in police custody in Honduras at an airport for having too much money. There's a lot of death surrounding this man, including Left Eye Lopez of TLC that also had HIV, that also died in Honduras, who was also connected with him. So this story falls down many rabbit holes, and of course people are saying that his death and assassination was not a coincidence. Now, of course, we're still finding out all the details, but Jason, this man was even saying what he's about to do is blow the lid off the medical industry, and that he's going to, quote, have people coming after him. He made very glaring statements. Even before his death, he tweeted and alluded to the fact that he has very powerful enemies. Now, of course, everything here is very vague, but do you want to intro this clip and introduce kind of what you think about this larger case that is unfolding right now, Jason?
Yeah, so obviously Nipsey had his hand in a lot of things, not just rap, not just, the clothing store, community service, but yes, he was wearing the documentary filmmaker hat as well, apparently. And in this clip, where he's on, the Breakfast Club, the big radio show out in L.A., he says some things. So let's listen to him. I don't want to make any definitive statements, but this is what Nipsey had to say.
Right. That's crazy. I'm in the middle of doing this holistic detox right now, day 6 of 14.
Yeah, you was telling me.
Yeah. So.
No food, nothing.
And they said it actually can help cure fibroids. It can help you if you are, cancer, any type of heart issues. And it's all natural herbs and all organic and all holistic without actually going to a doctor and getting...
Exactly.
Yeah. No, Jason, let's cut it off here because she's bringing up important points that obviously a lot of people agree with. Obviously fasting, obviously taking care of yourself. A lot of the stuff that has been under attack, especially on social media recently, because we're seeing holistic medicine being completely censored or deleted or banned all over online. So these are topics that are becoming more and more controversial. Now, of course, it's important to call out bullcrap because there's also a lot of charlatans and a lot of people claiming that they have this cure and this cure, and there's been a lot of people who just use people and lie to people. But ultimately here, the bigger point that this guy's making is that the medical industry is also corrupt, just like other individuals are corrupt, and that's an important kind of distinction to make here. Let's keep playing the video.
You feel
I
a
actually
difference?
feel pretty good.
Do you feel a difference, you think?
I do.
That's
It
right.
could be also because I've cut a lot of things out and I haven't had any food, nothing solid at all
Right.
in the past 6 days. But I feel all right, better than I thought. Right.
Just to go back to the Dr. Sebi thing real quick, what makes you want to do a
Sebi.
documentary? Okay,
Get it
Sebi.
right, man.
What makes you want to do a documentary about Dr. Sebi?
I think the story's important. I think it's a powerful narrative.
It is.
You know what I mean? And I think imagine this. Anybody in this room, if I could say, hey, somebody cured AIDS, y'all be like, yeah, right. And then I could show you an example of him going to trial and proving in a court to a jury that he cured AIDS. Y'all be interested in that.
Absolutely.
And y'all would look
100%.
into the way he did it, right? So I feel like more so than like champion his products or explaining his methodology, put some light on that case.
Pharmaceutical.
Yeah.
So there you have it, and I don't disagree with him. You know, it's again, I'm unfamiliar with the court cases, Luke. Right now, if people do want to get sort of familiar with them, I know that Heavy has a fast facts. After all, when we call him Dr. Sebi, by the way, I want to get this out of the way. Apparently, he never got a physician's degree, so this is a holistic personality. Let's call him that. And just like you said, Luke, with YouTube, for instance, cracking down on quote-unquote miracle cures. I don't want to overstate this guy's case, but Left Eye Lopez died in 2002. Now, she was probably the most prominent woman ever at the time. Even today, I really can't name anybody else to contract HIV and AIDS. Okay? If you look at the history of this disease, not many women who are in the public eye contract this, right? And of course, she was African American. There seems to be this connection, as CB talks in some of his videos, with that genetics being more susceptible to things like sickle cell. You know, he's not just talking about HIV and AIDS. He's talking about cancer and a lot of things. We're not going to play this video, but for those that don't know, she was in Honduras. She was meeting with him. Allegedly, he had cured her. And this is footage of her final moments in some kind of a car accident. Now, conspiracy theories have circled for years and years around this case. What I think is very important is, you know, we've got headlines from the Metro and a lot of other people because this conspiracy theory is out there. We don't know why he was killed. We know that it appears to be a gangbanger. I did watch the video, Luke. The surveillance CCTV footage of him getting gunned down. It does seem to be just one man walking down. He's conversing with another couple men. He immediately goes down. I don't know why he was killed, but when I see people like Nick Cannon, you know, saying things, they can't kill us all, and then posting just video after video after video of CB talking about his holistic cures. Hey, I may not be the biggest Nick Cannon fan of his music and television appearances, but please continue this. I'm interested in this documentary and this work.
Yeah. I'm really happy Nick Cannon is continuing this work because obviously we should have more of that information readily available to us, and we need to question when people are dying in daylight or being assassinated. Very powerful people, Left Eye, now this kind of community organizer, now this rapper. There has to be a lot of questions asked here, and again, could be coincidences, but there's a lot of coincidences here. There's a lot. He talked about specifically about bringing down the medical industrial complex, and we've been talking on this YouTube channel just the horrors of the medical industrial complex, of the opioid crisis, of OxyContin just being thrown to the American people for a profit knowingly, when the companies knew the vast amount of damage that they were going to do. And this is a quote medical industry with doctors that people trust in our society that are just given OxyContin, and now even questioning those things, run the risk of getting totally shut down by the big tech companies that of course are all connected here. Now this is a pretty wild story, Jason. I mean, again, if we take it on face value, if everything is true here that we're hearing, I mean, this could bring down the medical industry, and this does look like it is probable here. Now, Nick Cannon did tweet out a bunch of videos, and just looking into some of the claims that Dr. Sebi was making, I mean, he pretty much was saying that a lot of Africans are susceptible to disease, and if you look at the statistics, they are. Whether it's sickle cell, whether it's leukemia, whether it's STDs, African Americans have a significant higher risk of gaining all of those viruses and diseases. And Dr. Sebi, in one of the videos that Nick Cannon points out, sends out there, allegedly to Dr. Sebi, he says that this is all because of, mainly diet, because Africans have a different diet in Africa. When they're here in America, they have a different diet that is not used to their systems, and that could be probable. I think the likelihood of something like that happening is very, very probable. Again, we don't want to make any definitive statements here, but Jason, this is sketchy. This is something that we need a lot of investigation into, and holy cow, Left Eye Lopez, now this guy, obviously everyone, Nick Cannon's now taking this. What's your kind of conclusive take on all of this, other than the standard one we have here, which is just question everything?
Well, I want to be really careful because I don't know exactly why he got killed. Obviously, the suspect in this, and from the videotape, I have no reason to believe that they got this suspect wrong. I don't know for sure. Again, it's far away footage, but if it's a gang member,
well, I don't know if they got him yet, because right now we're seeing a suspect has been identified, so a person that they think maybe did this. I don't think they caught him yet, not from anything that I'm seeing.
No, I'm just saying
I think he's
that
still at large, and
video,
I think they're still looking for him. And I even saw the police commissioner say, "Oh, well, we don't know if he got into a bike or a car, and we thought he got into a car." So a lot of details are still murky here as far as the official assassination that happened.
Right, I wasn't saying he got caught. I was saying caught on video. So again, watching the video and what I saw, I have no reason to believe this was a multi-person hit. As far as getting away in a car, it's very hard to tell, because what you have is this man walking down the street, and then at the end of the street, there's a long street. You see him come to the corner. You see people running and Nipsey fall, and then him run the other way, and the building is blocking where he runs. So, again, who knows? But it may not be a coincidence. Again, gang violence is a big thing in Los Angeles. There's been a huge resurgence, and with him actually meeting the police on this very matter, already involved in some of the programs throughout the neighborhood, maybe, again, he got under someone else's bottom line by trying to clean up the streets. We don't know. I think all questions
that's an important point you bring up here. Be skeptical of everything. A lot of people are, of course, mourning him, because you brought up an important thing. He was a big part of the community from everything that I've seen. I'm hearing reports of him going out of his way to help out individuals that were specifically downtrodden or going through a very hard time. Him specifically reaching out to those people, giving them jobs, giving them opportunities to lift themselves up. And this is why we're seeing such a huge response to this, not only from the kind of conscious community, but also just the people in Los Angeles. There's a huge memorial where he was assassinated, with people leaving flowers everywhere, hundreds of people, and there was even pandemonium last night, where there was a stabbing at that location, and again, 19 people were injured when they were rushing out of there. That's another component here that I think is important to bring up here, Jason.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll play it in a small context here, so you can kind of just see it. But there was a ton of people, and then unfortunately things go extremely sour as you see, people just rushing away. It really puts a stain on this whole event. Not that there's anything good about the event. But again, I want people to have discernment. I think it's good that he brought to light, this instance, brought to light Dr. Sebi's case. I think a lot more people are going to be looking into it. But ultimately, we can only wait for Nick Cannon to see if he's going to actually produce this. And then let's see who picks it up. Because, if a powerhouse like Netflix gets behind it, Luke, it's going to get a lot more attention than if it doesn't get any distribution and they have to fight for people to see this information. So, with that being said, guys, we do 4 videos a day. We do 1 on the main, we do 3 on the back. We try to tackle a plethora of issues, from celebrity news to health news to financial news to, unfortunately, the wars that we're fighting in this country and abroad. So, if you like us, please hit that subscribe button. WeAreChange, Pulse Change. Knock into that notification bell, or you will not see these come into your feed. But most importantly, if these things are important to you, please get out there and be the change you want to see in the world.